true when we get to it. There's no casting decisions happening now. It's a real pause. We've all moved on in life. We're not thinking about this. Did
You
you
don't
see
think
all that bullshit?
Brandi is really in the mix, though? I mean,
I do.
I don't believe the LVP rumor at all. I mean,
No.
2 weeks ago in the New York Post, LVP was quoted as saying, I'm not coming back. I want nothing to do with the shit show. I want nothing to do with it. LVP is done. But I mean, Brandi wants back. You know, Brandi would love the money. She was great on Ultimate Girls Trip at Dorinda's house. I mean, I think Brandi's really like, there's a real strong possibility they're bringing her back.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think that article about like, oh, we've had discussions and Brandi, no, I mean, it's not at that point where she's lumped, but no, I think that Brandi is, I said it before, I mean, the only people I could see are Denise or Brandi when you really boil it down. It's not going to be Kim Richards for a lot of reasons. Yeah. I think Camille would be great. It's not going to be Camille. It's
As
not.
I told you.
No, I think Brandi is the only, to me, the other name that is, she's not going to turn it down, right? She ain't going to say no. She would use the money. She didn't fit in at that time. And now we're like in a different time in the world. You know, Brandi, and I've spoken to Brandi about this directly. I don't want to speak to her for her. She would definitely take the job, but you know, her statement, rightfully so, but I think we need this is like, I'm not Beverly Hills. Like, Brandi doesn't have this money. She's the first one to tell you this. I don't know if that really matters at this point.
It doesn't. Not now, because they have so much wealth on the show. I mean, you have Sutton. You have, you know, Garcelle is making money from the show, as she should. You know,
Birkin.
She bought her Birkin. I mean, Rinna is wealthy now. You know, Kyle Richards is like getting beyond wealthy. You know, I mean, so you've got Kathy in the mix. I mean, I think Brandi would bring it down. That was what was amazing about Bethany. Bethany was the one that had no money. She was the underdog. She was the feisty mouth with all these Upper East Side wealthy women who thought their shit didn't stink. And Bethany was there to remind them, for mine, like it does, you know? Brandi would be great in the mix. And now it's not about the money for Beverly Hills because they have that. To me, it's about the power dynamic. Who can they bring on that challenges Rinna? You know, that because the audience is already against Rinna. Do they want one more season where they really see Rinna sink? I mean, that's, you know, look, for better or worse, it's the Shakespearean way. I mean, we kind of want to see her, you know, we want to see Rinna humbled, right? Who can humble Rinna? Could it be Brandi? Could it be Denise? They're in the mix.
They're in the mix, right? So I agree with that. I just don't think that whole like, oh, we've talked. No, nothing is. That's January, but I agree with everything you just said. With the footnote, 2 footnotes. There's also somebody else that's broke as a joke on the show currently. Her name is Erica Jane. So, I mean, it's not like Brandi would be the only one. I mean, would Erica Jane be cast today? I don't think so on Beverly Hills. She has no money. So, I mean, right? Other than what she makes from the show. So, it's
my God, she is broke as a joke.
She's broke as a joke. She's going to owe for the rest of her life. I think that it would be an interesting, fun dynamic when you have Brandi being to like Sutton, like, you know, oh, wow, like you're taking me on this trip. Like I can never, you know, kind of like a Gina Kirschenheider over there on the OC when she's getting the tour of Chateau Dubrow, which just sold for $55 million. It could be fun. Here's the one caveat. Now, I believe Brandi will do anything for the money. Shocker. You know, but Brandi is not an anti-Rinna person at this moment in the world. She's kind of like, Kyle is great. She thinks Kyle is great. Dorit, like not like Erica. So she's not really in with Garcelle and Sutton, nor does she know them. She'd almost, but I think if they sat her down and said, girl, this is your role. Brandi doesn't care what the reality of the situation is. She'll be real, but she'll do what she has to do for that paycheck. But Brandi is not, I mean, she's closer to Kyle and Rinna Trust me, I know. Let's just leave it at that, guys, and I'll drop a footnote about Brandi, and you could read that any way you want. Maybe she'll be making an appearance on a podcast at some point.
Ooh.
But I mean, I don't know. I don't know, guys. I
Behind
don't
the
know.
Velvet Rope exclusive.
I don't know about all that. But you
Well,
know, that's the only footnote. But I do agree, if look, it only takes a minute being back in production, right? To be like, didn't have anything against Rita, and now I do.
I do think you're right. They're not going to bring on anybody to that cast that is Team Rinna, because it's already looked like Rinna, Erica, Dorit, Kyle to some extent have bullied Sutton and Garcelle and Crystal. Again, I mean, what are your okay, as of right now, you think Crystal's back?
Well, if you believe that article, you know, not only is LVP and Denise being talked to, Crystal's gone, Diana's gone, according to that article, or they're on the choppy block, and Dorit is in severe trouble with being demoted to a friend. I really believe that nothing is being discussed. Really, it's just the granular level of people existing in the world the way that we are, and I'm sure they all have thoughts that are going through their mind. But I don't like when Andy Cohen says, and I also think he wasn't telling the truth when he's like, now that, you know, the reboot is filming, now we're ready to cast Legacy. No, you'll be ready to cast Legacy in like a year and a half. Like, we have to film the reboot, then we have to air the reboot, then we have to, right? So we have another year before we focus on Legacy. But I think there's names they have in their mind. Like, it's obviously going to be Jill, and, you know, but so yeah. I don't think there's any discussions at Bravo or NBC with anyone important now. And I don't think there's going to be in November. And I don't even think there's going to be in December. I think, you know, it's January is when we'll start. Look at, you know, you're in production and TV. It will take them 2 weeks to go through this. And hey, Brandi, tomorrow we're shooting and the season starts and your contract is coming today. And we're sorry we haven't talked to you in 7 years. Do you want to do this or not? Like, do you know what I mean? There's no advance notice needed when they want you. You either want it or you don't. And if you don't, the train is leaving without you, right? So I think January. So no, I don't believe any of these bullshit rumors at this point. But I do think Brandi is a real possibility when they get there. Yeah, sure.
Okay, I love it.
Before let's talk about something other than Beverly Hills for a minute, and then we come back to it.
I know.
What do you want to talk about other than Beverly Hills? What is keeping you up at night?
Two things. A recent interview that NeNe Leakes did with, I don't know if he was a podcaster or somebody in Atlanta that, you know, that's in media. It was very revealing. I want to talk that. Okay, I'll talk that. And then, of course, my girls in the P, you know, in RHOBH. Well, I love, you know, I'm the biggest fan of NeNe ever. I want to see NeNe back on TV. As you know, I work here in production in LA. There's a lot of mixed rumors about her behind the scenes. She is allegedly difficult. You know,